You're very
Morning.
welcome to this morning's webinar. It's going to be on grant supports and finance options. We have speakers from Enterprise Ireland who are going to talk about the National Enterprise Hub, as well as a speaker from Local Enterprise Office in Dún Laoghaire, and also Microfinance Ireland. So our first speaker this morning is going to be Ciara. And just to note as well that this morning's session will be recorded, so it'll be available online shortly afterwards. Hi, Ciara.
Thank you so much, Kieran. Hi, everybody. My name is Ciara Horgan-Roca, and I manage the National Enterprise Hub here in EI. You can just go to the next slide. Where does the National Enterprise come from? It's really came out of a strategic SME task force that was set up in 2021. And the idea behind this was that government or SMEs didn't have one central resource to actually have all of the government or government supports. And as part of the task force, the National Enterprise Hub came from that. We also wanted to really drive the existing supports that were available for digitalisation and decarbonisation. And then, of course, that we wanted to ensure that the mandate for Leo had been extended and was open to 0 to 50 employees, and we wanted to support that too. The next slide, please, Kieran. So from research that led into the task force is that SMEs found a complex business environment to deal with government agencies. There was a low take-up of green supports and digital supports and the lack of time and engagement. So they really needed practical support. And they needed a phone call and they needed be able to contact people. And that's where the National Enterprise came from. Next slide, please, Kieran. So the goals of the National Enterprise Hub is to improve access to supports, to reduce friction for business owners, connect with business owners, all of the available supports that are across multiple organisations and government bodies, and to ensure that we drive pipeline for our development partners, such as our key partners that we have here today, Microfinance and our Local Enterprise Office. And then, of course, capture some insights to inform policy. And some of the insights that we've gathered so far is that that there may not be as many supports available for companies that are running into trouble in terms of exiting. But we actually went back to our local ETB and asked them to develop out a program there for clients that were wanting to do a healthy exit. And also another key piece was that some of the governmental supports on revenue were difficult to understand, and we went to revenue and asked them to actually edit and change their website accordingly so they could make it very easy for businesses to understand how to apply for SURE schemes, how to apply for different revenue supports. For example, a 30% reduction in business grant offering. Next slide, please. So this is what our site is about. We have over 250 supports available on our site today. We work with 29 different partners. We have a dedicated team of hub advisors that are available to take your call and understand and really give you a holistic approach to actually the supports available for you. So you can just simply call us or email us, and then we will offer you a holistic view, not just one support. We're always offering microfinance. We always direct clients to Leo, but we also have a number of different partners, Solace, Revenue. We also have social protection that will be able to give you many, many supports that are available to you and your business. Next slide, please, Kieran. To date, we've had about 3,000 inquiries. Most of these clients that we're speaking to right now are actually new to government, so they've never contacted a government agency before, and we get back to them within 24 hours. So please give us a call. We'll come back to you as soon as we possibly can. And we will, if there's something that we're missing from our site, we will find it, and we will find you a support, a training, a grant offering, something that will be applicable to your business. And next slide, please, Kieran. What is the business goal for most clients? Really get help to expand their business, get help with cash flow, which I'm sure that the microfinance will talk to today, and then become more sustainable. A lot of businesses are looking to become more sustainable now, and we do have the energy efficiency grant, which is run through Leo, that can support this. Next slide, please, Kieran. And then just to give you an idea of the top supports that we actually recommend for clients, there's the business expansion grant that is available through Leo. There is a lot of startup relief for entrepreneurs that is available through Revenue. Microfinance loans, which I'm sure Jane and Lorna will go into. As I mentioned, the energy efficiency grant, which is also available through Leo, and Jobs Plus. Jobs Plus is a very, very interesting support available. If clients have new recruits, they should always go to their local intro service and see if there is availability there for people who are unemployed. But if you, there are some supports available for people who are with disabilities, for example. Nearly 20% of all the employee have either not a visible, they look at both visible and non-visible disabilities. And they also offer, like, I think it's nearly €6.30 of their actual the amount of funding that they get for actually hiring someone with a disability. So that's a very interesting one. There's a super support available through the Leo on Grow Digital if people are looking to expand in terms of their digitalization, and it offers it's a very, very solid grant that offers a huge amount of scope there, looking at CRMs, digital platforms, e-commerce solutions. EI offer an innovation voucher. An innovation voucher is somebody who has an issue within their company, and they could go to many different areas, like so many different institutions and researchers, to actually try and see if they can fix that problem for them. And then, of course, there's mentoring and training, not only across the Leos, but also across Solus. So, for example, if you were looking for a chefing course, if you were looking for, training on construction, if you were looking for any types of training, Solus offer micro qualifications, and they also offer leadership qualifications in conjunction with Leo for retail and hospitality. And a final one that I wanted to mention today is Built to Innovate. This is for construction companies that have 20% of their domestic business in residential. EI have a very solid program on Built to Innovate, and also offer grant support there to eligible companies. That's it from me, Kieran. I'll take calls or questions at the back end. Oh, sorry, final slide, I think, Kieran, one more. Yeah, and just to give you a call to action here, please feel free to give us a shout. We are just on the end of a phone call. We have a full team there listening and willing to take your call, and we would love to talk to you and point you in the right direction. And we always work with our partners, which is the Leo and microfinance who we have today, but a lot more. We will send you directly to the client, or refer you directly to the government agency, and it's a really great support, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, Kieran.
That's great, Ciara. Thanks very much. I should have said at the very start as well, for anybody on the webinar this morning, we're going to do a Q&A at the end. So if anybody has any questions, if you just use the chat function there, and if you could just direct them towards a particular speaker, we'll address them at the very end. That's great, Ciara. Thanks very much. Okay, Aoife.
Thanks, Ciara. That was very interesting. So hello, everybody. Welcome this morning. And my name is Aoife Harrington, and I'm one of the Senior Enterprise Development Officers in the local enterprise office, Laoghaire-Rathdown. We have a really broad range of supports to offer plenty of businesses in our area. And I suppose what I want to say is, I might be a bit biased, but we have a really great team in Laoghaire-Rathdown. We want to hear from you. So today, debunking the myths about Leo. So it's everything you want to know about Leo, but we're afraid to ask. And this is something that comes up a lot. Sometimes people, they think they understand the Leo grants, but maybe they don't. So what we're saying is get in touch, find out. Once you're on our radar, we'll be able to help and support you. So next slide. We also carry out a lot of research. We go back and we talk to clients. We find out what is it that will encourage you to engage? What would put you off? What is the hook to persuade you to engage with us? And this is the feedback that we've got from them. The more I engage, I find the more I benefit, because now they know what supports are relevant. We have businesses coming back to us for over 15 years, coming back with hiring grants and maybe to avail of some of the newer grants that we have in place. There's also a myth that Leo only supports startups. We hear that time and time again. Oh, I'm not a startup, so then maybe Leo can't really help me. We help businesses from startup all the way through. And then the really tough part is when people say to us, I really wish I'd known about some of the grants earlier because I missed out. I was hiring staff, I was problem solving, I was investing, and if I'd known about Leo, they could have helped me on that journey. So next slide. So mentoring is probably one of the most popular, most utilised grants that we have. I personally look after the mentoring programme. A business can avail of between 3 and 6 hours, 100% subsidised mentoring a year. It's a really easy process. You fill out an application form. I review the application. We have 60 really highly skilled mentors in digital marketing, sales and marketing, innovation, product development, finance, software, you name it. So what we do is when we receive an application, we match up your challenges, your requirements with the most relevant mentor. The meetings are online, it's 100% subsidized, and we get really positive feedback. We also regularly run training and networking events. So what I would really suggest here is sign up for our newsletter, keep an eye on our website, because we are providing events every week, every month of the year. And it's a great way to avail of, social media, just catching up with what's happening. So next slide. So some of the most recent grants we have are around Digital for Business and the very recent, the Grow Digital Voucher. So Digital for Business, basically, it's a 2-day consultancy. So where a digital consultant will come into your business, they look at the processes, they look at how you're doing things, they look at your strategy, how you're communicating with your clients, and they will advise you, they will create a plan for you to improve those processes. So really, it's a deep dive into how you're running your business, and it's about reducing paperwork and becoming more efficient. You need to complete the Digital for Business consultancy before you can apply for Grow Digital. You can apply for 2 Grow Digital vouchers. Primarily, Grow Digital is a grant towards purchasing off-the-shelf piece of software. So the grant is worth 2,500 against a spend of 5. And it also includes the subscription fees for the first year. So it's about developing the digital processes in your business, and it could be a purchase of Shopify, some platform, some piece of software that's really going to help boost the digital aspects of your business and help your customer interaction. Next slide. Then Green for Business, again, is becoming a very popular grant because of the whole lean towards sustainability. So again, the Green for Business is 100% subsidized by us. We will appoint a green consultant to look at your business. They will spend 2 days of their time, but probably a couple of hours of your time, where they do, again, a deep, sustainable green dive into your company. They will want to see your bills, your energy uses, how your business is performing. And then they will then provide you with the next steps, how you can improve the business, how you can save energy, how you can save money, and basically put your business on a more sustainable course. It can also include, for example, creating that sustainability statement that you can add to your website, which is becoming more and more important. Then the energy efficiency grant was only launched last year, and many of the local enterprise offices refer to this as the oven, fridges and dishwasher grant. So that's kind of its nickname, because primarily it is used for those items are also replacing smart meters, energy controls, LED lighting. How it works is, for example, if you are a restaurant, or you're a cooking business, you have a fridge, an oven, a dishwasher, whatever that's over 5 years old, we will help you replace that item with a more energy efficient product. So, for example, if that was to cost you 10,000, you would get a grant of 7,500 towards that. We recently had a client who was about to invest in, I think, 3 new cooler fridges, which would have cost him 14,000. Just in the nick of time, he heard about this grant, got his application in, and he received 7,500 towards that spend, which he was very grateful for. So next slide. So productivity, this is one of the supports that I'm really keen on, and I get such a positive response from clients. This is all about looking at the hidden minutes that are lost in your business and what they're costing you. So when we talk to clients, we find that a lot of the feedback is saying things like, oh, well, I set up my business and it seemed to grow faster than I was expecting, but sure, it's okay because I know where everything is. It's okay because I know the procedures, I know how to run the business. But the bottom line is, if you have a business that is dealing with customers, that has processes, that has staff, there are hidden minutes lost in your business every day, every week, every month, and every year. And that's from lack of utilization of kind of proper procedures. And these hidden minutes cost money. And until you know where these minutes are occurring, where the problems are, you can't put a financial cost on that. And we have received feedback from clients that many have saved between 15 and 25,000 in 1 year alone from improving their processes. So Transform 123, it's one-to-one consultancy. It's almost 100% subsidized by us. The cost to you, the client, is €50. It's 5 half days of their time. They will come into your business. They'll do a deep dive. They will watch. They'll do a Gemba. How are you doing things? Where's the photocopier? What's the transport like from one floor to another? Where is the time being lost? And where are these hidden minutes occurring? They'll put a plan in place for you, and they'll show you how to control that in the future. It's a really great program. Some of the most recent feedback I got was from a manufacturing company, and they weren't sure really whether this was for them, but they agreed to do it. And they came back and they said that they saved 75% of their admin as a result of doing this course. And what's really interesting is that it also helped them, if you like, lean on their suppliers, because they then went to their suppliers and said, we don't want you to supply your invoices, your pro formas like that anymore. We need them supplied digitally because we're spending too much time. We're losing time processing what you're sending to us. So it's a really great program. Next slide. The Leo Market Explorer grant is literally hot off the shelf. It has replaced the previous Tame grant. And what this primarily is, it's supporting clients in exploring and developing new market opportunities, which is primarily attending overseas trade shows, it's exhibiting at trade shows, it's research into international markets. And I suppose what it's really trying to encourage is, rather than just deciding, I think I'll book a trade show in Italy, it's about looking at that market first, carrying out the research, boots on the ground, and finding out what is it I need to do to prepare for dealing with the customers who come to that particular trade show, to do with the traditions or the culture in Italy, for example. So it's about preparing and then getting in front of international customers. But it's a really great grant. It's very new, and it's only beginning to be rolled out now at the moment, but there's a lot of interest in it. Next slide. So just before I conclude, I realize that one of the slides isn't in there, and that's the Priming and Business Expansion Grant. Priming and Business Expansion Grant is actually the same grant. Priming is for if you're in the first 18 months in business. Business expansion is 18 months plus. So what it is if you are, the eligibility is quite strict around this. you need to be either manufacturing or trading in international services. If you meet that criteria, the process is that we would then have a meeting with you. We would establish that you're eligible and we would talk through your business. So typically for a priming grant, what we're looking for is we need to see evidence of revenue and contracts and sales coming into a business. The grant primarily supports a contribution towards the salary for the first year, which is 37.5%, or 15,000 against a salary of 40,000, or pro rata. So we need to see that there's evidence of finance coming into the business, there's a stream of revenue, and that you have contracts in place to support the balance of the salary and to also support the day-to-day ongoing development of the business. So there's no magic figure that you have to be turning over 50,000 or 60,000. It's about looking ahead and seeing that evidence of revenue coming into the business. It primarily supports the hiring of putting somebody on the payroll, which might be the founder. And also if there was a small piece of capital equipment, if there was a small piece of maybe international research you want to do, that could be looked at as well at the same time. So anyway, I'd like to thank you all for listening to my introduction to our supports. We have a really great office in Laoghaire-Rathdown. We want to have you on our radar, because once we know about you, this is when we hear of a new grant and we say, oh, we must remember to tell that client they were looking to do something like that. So get in touch. You can see the details there, and I'm certainly happy to follow up with anybody after this webinar.
That's great. Thanks very much, Aoife.
Thank you.
I'll hand over to Lorna.
Great. Thanks, Kieran, and thanks, Aoife and Ciara, for your presentation as well. So good morning, everyone. Thanks for inviting us on this morning, Kieran. I'm going to talk to you a bit about Microfinance Ireland. For those of you who are not familiar with us, we're a government-funded lender who provides small business loans through the government's Micro Enterprise Loan Fund scheme. So we provide business loans from €2,000 to €50,000. We help Irish-based startups and established businesses that are having difficulty getting finance from their traditional lending providers and their banks. Sole traders, partnerships, and limited companies are all eligible to apply for a loan with ourselves. Next slide, please, Karen. So who can apply? So in order to apply for a loan with ourselves, you need to have less than 10 full-time employees in your business. You need to be able to show that you wouldn't get that loan through your bank. So we call that non-bankable. We can only give loans to businesses that would not be able to get a loan through their bank, because we can't compete with banks. We're provided with funding by the government to help businesses that would not be able to get the funding elsewhere. So you need to be able to show that you would be creating or sustaining one full-time position as a result of this loan, and that can be your own position. So if you're self-employed, your business needs to be based in the Republic of Ireland, and you need to have less than 2 million annual turnover. Next slide, please, Kieran. So there's some restrictions in terms of the businesses that we can work with. I mean, we work with a huge range of businesses: cafes, boxing clubs, plumbers, electricians, but there's a small amount of businesses that we can't provide funding to under our EU guarantee, and that's companies that are distilling alcohol, such as gin. We can work with microbreweries, so beer companies, but it's just under the EU guarantee we're prohibited from lending to those that are involved in distilled alcohol, tobaccos, casinos, and that kind of thing. We can provide funding for R&D or debt restructuring or bridging loans. And there's a full listing of restrictions on our website, microfinanceIreland.ie. But more or less, we can provide funding for most types of businesses in Ireland outside of these restricted areas. So since our inception in 2012, we've helped to support and create 11,000 jobs. We've lent almost 90 million euro, and we've approved over 5,500 loans to Irish businesses, which is great. So just to talk you through our different loan packages, so you can go to the next slide, Kieran. So we have a few different loan packages which are available. So we have our small business loan, which is from 2,000 to 5,000 euro. And as I've mentioned, our loans are for both startups and established businesses. So our small business loan, the lending is unsecured, and the repayments are fixed, so there's no fees or charges. And the APR is 6.5%. But if you apply through your local enterprise office, you actually get a 1% discount on that loan. So we work very closely with the local enterprise offices. They're our biggest referral partner. So we would always recommend that clients would go to their local enterprise office to assist them with their applications. And the main benefit is obviously if you are approved, you get the 1% discount on your loan rate. You also then will receive post-approval mentoring through your LEOs. So they will help you with your business plans and post-loan approval. So just in terms of our other loans that are available, so we have our startup loan from 5 to 50,000 euro, our cash flow loan from 5 to 50,000 euro, and our expansion loans from 5 to 50,000 euro. And again, the lending is unsecured, repayments are fixed, and the APR is 6.5. And again, if you apply through your LEO, you get the 1% discount rate. So you can have a look on our website and see which loan product might be more suitable for yourselves. So just to talk to you about the application process. So over the last few months, we've actually launched a new apply online loan application process to make our process a lot easier. So you can actually register your details on our website. You then receive an email with details on what documents that you need to provide. Mostly they're 6 months bank statements, cash flow forecasts, and then you can link in with your local enterprise office to help you to fill out your application. Once you have all your documents, you can then submit your loan application, and you can expect a credit decision within 10 working days. If you're applying for our small business loan, actually the length of decisioning time is shorter. It's normally within 5 days. So just to talk to you a bit about some of the type of customers that we've helped over the last few years, just to give you an insight how diverse they are. So we've given business loans to Zeus Scooters. So they're a company that provide mobility scooters. And they've been very successful over the last few years. We've helped them from their inception to create their demo product, and they've really grown over the last couple of years. Bright Sparks Montessori, they're a Dublin-based Montessori group. Gan House, who are a boutique B&B in County Louth. K2 Alpacas, they're a really exciting alpaca trekking tour group in Wicklow. Phoenix Delight are an artisan chocolate company based in Louth. Dublin Indoor Football. Premier Timber Frame Homes, they're a company that provide that construct timber frame homes in Tipperary. And then Hote Adventures. So just to give you a kind of snapshot of the type of businesses that we have helped, there's a huge range. And yeah, so if anyone has any queries, we're more than happy to help. You can contact us directly at hello@microfinanceIreland.ie, and all of our details are on our website as well. So we're happy to take any queries or calls that anyone may have. Thanks, Ciara.
That's great. Thanks very much, Lorna. Okay, we'll pop to the chat here now and see if anybody has any questions. If anybody has any questions for any of our speakers, you might just pop them into the chat function now. Thank you. Let's give another few seconds there now.
We must have answered all of the queries, Ciara.
I think so. There are fantastic presentations, everyone, so I appreciate that. And look, today's webinar is recorded, so we'll get that published on our website. And if all the speakers are happy enough today as well, I'll share your contact details. And also I'll share a copy of today's presentation.
Great.
Felisa, do you have a question? I see you've raised your hand. Do you want to type it into the chat, Felisa? Or I could unmute you if you prefer that. We have Zen typing a question as well now. That's great. So Zen asked, is the trading online voucher still available? Thanks.
No, unfortunately, the trading online voucher closed on the 13th of December last. So it's closed. It is stopped.
Yeah, but the digital Grow Digital voucher is super, right, Aoife?
Yes, yeah.
It does offer some online web piece. So, I mean, my recommendation there is to contact Aoife and ask her, what does the Grow Digital voucher offer? And see if some of your web requests are covered under that. Would you agree, Aoife?
What I would probably suggest is I can put you in touch with my colleague who specifically looks after the Grow Digital,
Yeah.
but it's definitely, the Grow Digital is not a replacement for the TOV, because the TOV was very much developing a website. It included photography, it included SEO, it included a lot. The Grow Digital voucher really is primarily about purchasing an off-the-shelf piece of software. But I'm certainly very happy to put you in touch with my colleague who looks after that area, Felicia.
That's Aoife. Perfect. I'll put you.
Okay,
I'll
sure.
pass the contact details on to Zen.
Sure, of course, yeah.
That's great. Zen says thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, that was Zen. Sorry, I thought it was Felicia. Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
no problem at all. Felisa, you did raise your hand. If you do have a query, you might just type it into the chat function. Thank you.
But maybe the reason why, Kieran, that one, the businesses have kind of moved from, they moving from having their existing website presence, and now the Grow Digital elevation piece, the Grow Digital voucher is about the next stage of digitalization. Does that make sense to you? So, a lot of organizations and businesses will have an online presence, and now they want the government wants companies to do their next stage, which is CRM software, and all of the subscriptions pieces that Aoife mentioned, and that's the reason why.
To build on that, and Callum
Yeah.
has a question here now. He says, can the Grow Digital voucher be used to pay the monthly subscription for a new piece of software?
It includes the monthly subscription for the first year.
For the first year, Callum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. That's great.
Hi. Sorry, I couldn't talk or chat earlier. I don't know why. But yeah, my question is regarding the TOV. Like, so you're saying that that's totally different in that, like, if you've done your TOV training, or if you've attended the webinar and you then weren't able to get to subscribe to the support, you can't kind of like transfer that to the Grow Digital. You still have to do the Grow Digital.
No, unfortunately, the TOV Trading Online Voucher Seminar, the closing date was the 13th of December. If you didn't have an application in before that date, you would not be able to proceed with the Trading Online Voucher. So in order to apply for the Grow Digital Voucher, you need to complete the Digital for Business 2-day consultancy first, and then you can move on to the Grow Digital Voucher. You do need to be trading 6 months or over. But like I said, the Grow Digital is not replacing the TOV. It is, as Ciara explained, it's about moving the business on to the next stage. And it's probably similar to the way that the TAME grant has now been replaced with the Market Explorer grant. It's about moving forwards, that you're expected to have a certain amount of digital presence in place. It's about moving forwards and the steps to help you move forwards and enhance the business. So I hope that answered your question.
It did. Thank you.
Thanks, Aoife. Thanks, Felisa. Does anybody else have any other questions now, just before we finish up? Okay, well, what I might do is just bring this webinar to a close. The recording, as I said, is going to go up online, and I'll also put you in touch with any of our speakers today if you have follow-up queries. And I thank Ciara, Aoife, and Lauren again for hopping on the call to present today. Thank you all.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
Ciara.
Thanks, Ciara.
Pleasure to be here. Bye.
Thanks very much.
Bye,
All the best.
Sister
Have a good day.